We're doing a little bit of an Atlassian quiz. I want to know how good you know Atlassian. And I know there are some hardcore Atlassian people, fans or people in here. So they probably have a little bit of an advantage. But there are also some questions that are just like where they probably don't. So everyone on the... okay, we just wait for a little bit. Great. All right. Also some background story. I kan tage dansk med mig. Jeg taler lidt dansk. Jeg bor her i Aarhus for 20 år siden. So that was actually my first job I got here. It was in Hinnerup for 4 years. Where I worked, so I was living here in Aarhus. So it's a little bit of homecoming. All right, so let's see. Something went wrong, that's also good, great. Technology works. Here we are, 7 players, ready. Okay, let's get started. Okay, answer fast to get more points. First question, what was Atlassian's second software product? First one was Jira. Was it Bitbucket? Was it Confluence? Was it Fisheye? Or was it Jira Service Management? Everyone has voted already. And it was... Oops, there was one too much, sorry. It was Confluence. So actually Confluence was the second product, I think 2000. Well, we have the actually announcement here from the page. As you might see, new Atlassian Confluence in 2004. So that was the second product from Atlassian. All right, good. Next question. 8 players are ready. Let's start the quiz. Oh, 9 players. Wow, getting more and more here. All right, answer fast to get more points. When was Atlassian founded? Which year was Atlassian founded? Was it 2010, 2007, 2002, or 1999? Everyone has voted, and the correct answer is 2002. Wow, great, most of you got it. That's good, awesome. Okay, ready for the next question? Oh yeah, that's a picture from Mike and Scott, the 2 Atlassian founders back in the days. They look a little bit different now. Anyway, so 9 players are ready. Let's go and do another round here. Where is Atlassian's headquarters? Is it in London, in New York, San Francisco, and Sydney? Wow, you're fast people, I know.
Fast to get more points.
It's in Sydney. Yeah, right. So that is actually this is the old Atlassian office. We're moving out of that and just moving 2 houses further down the street to the Atlassian, to the bigger Atlassian office then. All right, good. 10 players now. Wow, getting more and more people here. All right. Where does the name Jira come from? Is it an acronym? Is it Japanese for Godzilla? Is it the name of the founder's dog? Or simply the URL was available at that time? So they took it. All right, everyone has voted. It's Japanese for Godzilla, yeah. Yeah, it's right. So at that time there was a open source tool called Bugzilla. And the founders weren't really happy with that, so they built their own tool, and they called it then not Bugzilla, Godzilla. They called it that. And Japanese is Godzilla is pronounced Gojira, so that's where it comes from. Gojira is Japanese for Godzilla. All right. That's also why it calls Jira and not Jira. So great. Next question. How many apps are there for Jira Software Cloud in the Atlassian marketplace? Are there 1,000 apps for Jira Software Cloud? Is it 2,500, 4,000, or 8,000? You have already voted. 4,000. No, it's 2,500. 2,500 apps for cloud version of Jira. All right. I think I have got one more questions here. Then we can wrap up. How many Atlassian community events happened in 2022? So that's a little bit while ago, 2022. Was it 234, 432, 971, or 1,452? Everyone has voted, and the answer is 971 Atlassian community events in 2022. I have to update the stats for 2023, I think. All right, let's see who's the winner. Let's see. They were the faster ones. Clippy. Who was Clippy?
That's me.
Ha! Congrats. So you won something. You can just like decide. I know there's a lot of swag here. So I know there's also a lot of socks here, but I brought my own kind of socks. So these are just like the special State of Teams socks that I still have from the State of Teams tour. Or you get an exclusive Shaping Up Your Team Atlassian headband. You can decide.
I think the socks.
Socks. All right. All right. Daniel.
I get the runoff.
You get the headband. I have more of those, so just like I put it on top of this.
Perfect. Daniel just told me he has 3 kilometers to work.
Yes.
So that's perfect.
That's a great
Eight.
one.
Great, yeah. So I see Daniel is ready to shape up his team, right? All right, good. So shaping up your team. You're ready to shape up?
Yes.
Get in the gym and shape up. That's good.
Racket.
Yeah, great. Actually, these are exclusive headbands for this event here. So, I mean, I'm doing it at different user groups, but my colleague is doing that in the US, but exclusively for this event. Can't get them anywhere else. So good that you came. Because your exclusive headband. All right. So as you might know, we believe in teams. So teamwork is super important for us. We live and breathe teams. This is our mission. We believe that behind every great human achievement, there is a team. Our mission is to unleash the potential of every team. That's why we exist at Atlassian. That's why our stock ticker at the New York Stock Exchange is Team and not Atlassian or something else or something like this. It is Team. Everything we do is team software. So we want to bring teams together. We believe also that distributed work is here to stay. So distributed work doesn't mean that it's remote work or it's hybrid work or it's we just like if you have 2 offices, you're already working distributed, or if you're just like in a large office building or a different office building, you already work distributed. We think just like this is here to stay. And people just like calling their workers back to the office. You probably have heard all the news that there was also recently a video from a company that went viral. They needed to remove it, where the CEO said, actually, we don't ask you to come back, we inform you to come back to the office. Didn't came across very well. But what companies are doing is actually they just like want the way to work like they have been doing before, and that's the easy thing, right? If you think just like if your productivity is not good, then just like okay, maybe the office will fix it. But we have other different things. If you look at what the problems are in our work environment, it looks totally different, right? We're missing the focus, we have not the right tools, we have back-to-back meetings. So these are all problems that teams have these days, overflowing inboxes. And time has moved on, and bringing back people to the office, I don't know. So these are actually how to work problems and not where to work problems. We need to find a new way to work actually in this new world. We at Atlassian, we also have offices. So these are our offices actually around the world. I think we have 13 different offices, so 2-3 more that you can see here. And 60% of Atlassian's workers are living 2 hours away from an office. But the rest 40% don't, right? That's why we call it Team Anywhere. So people can work from anywhere where we have a legal entity. Then they can work from anywhere. They can choose if they go into the office or if they want to stay at home or work in a co-working space or whatever, right? I was the first, actually, one of the first remote hires from Atlassian. I was supposed to work in Germany when we had a very, very strong office culture. So I'm happy that now everyone is just like working distributed. So that's really good. And we actually have also our stats. We made them public. I don't know if you have seen that. It's we released it last week. It's 1,000 days of distributed work. So we share our experience about hybrid work, where some team members are in the office and others are remote. We have the numbers. There are some interesting numbers in there. So, for example, we have 20% more acceptance rates for jobs. And in India, we doubled our female colleagues because they can now work from home. So there's some more stats in that, how we do that with time zone overlaps. A team needs to be just like maxed 4 time zones away from each other to have a overlap over the day so they can meet and exchange. So we have our rules. We have changed the way we work. Calling people back to the office is the easiest way because we know office, how that works. We have done that for centuries, or for decades. But this is now new, and we need to change the way we work. And this is just like our learnings. So one program that is in there is called Intentional Togetherness. So interesting numbers, you can see that, but we see people need to come together in person too. Just like that we just work remotely, we see that the happiness of workers or the connectiveness between the team drops after 4 to 5 months. So we have a program called Intentional Togetherness, where we come together. So this is my team actually. We're just like 4 people. We come together from time to time every quarter and meet. Now, we are just like a super distributed team. Dom, the big guy over there, and Ingrid, they live in Sydney, and Mark, the guy on the right, lives in Chicago. So we don't have any time zone overlap. So we're super distributed. So that's why these intentional togetherness are super important for us to just like come together. And yeah, so I'm flying over tomorrow to Sydney to meet these people, to have a 1 week of intentional togetherness. So teams, distributed work is here to stay, and there are some things that we need to know about distributed work that we need to change, can't move on. But also teams need to be healthy. That's another thing that we believe. We need to work on the healthiness of teams. Now, how do we measure team health, right? So we actually have found indicators where we can see just like if these indicators are high, the team health is high. And we found out that, so we did a survey with, I think, around 2,000 workers around the world. And we found out that 5% of the teams are unhealthy. And well, this is not bad, right? But just like this number is bad, like 82% are just like in the middle, like they're just like, partly healthy. And just 13% of teams are actually healthy. So we need to fix that. But how do you know actually if your team is healthy or not? We don't have just like a watch or something that we can just like use and say, okay, we just like have this 40% of alignment, so we need to work more on that, right? We would love to have that and give that to teams, so teams can just like measure their health the easy way. But we have found a way how teams can measure their health, and it's called the Team Health Monitor. We have written everything about this. So it's a tool for the team to self-diagnose themselves. So they just like to see if they're healthy or not, or what areas they need to improve. And these are actually the areas that we found out that makes good team health. So the first thing is team cohesion. How cohesive is your team, right? Is that okay? is the team balanced? Do you have the right people in the team, the right roles, the right balance of people? Do you encourage differences of culture, differences of thinking? Is that in place? Do you have a shared understanding of what you want to achieve, what you want to build, how you want to build it? Have you value and metrics to measure those achieved, to just like know that you're on the right track or that you reached your goal? Do you have suitable ways of working? I was just like talking about ways of working for distributed teams. So are those ways of working the right ones for your team? Do you have engagement and support from other teams, right? Is everyone engaged also to just like lead to the goal that you have? And are you thinking about continuously about how do we improve ourselves? Do you do regular retrospective? Do you look at these things, set yourself goals also in terms of improvement, right? So we have proved that if you score high on all these eight different areas for team health, right, you are a healthy team, right? If you score low on 1 or 2, you're still kind of healthy. If you score low on more than 2, then you're partially healthy. And if you just like score low on 4 or 5 of those, you're an unhealthy team. You need to do something. So these 8 areas are super important for you. So how does a team health monitor check works? I told you it's a self-diagnostic for teams. So it's pretty easy. You just like go in a room with your team, and then they say just like, okay, do you think like we have a good team cohesion? And then you read out what you mean by that. We have written that down. And then you just like do very easy, right? Thumbs up, thumbs middle, or thumbs down. And then you just like have to come together to just like have a common understanding of if you have a balanced team or not. Discuss that out, and then set yourself if you think like you're a balanced team. Or same with shared understanding, always all those health monitor. So it's a little bit of a traffic light system that shows you we're good at balanced, we suck a little bit at shared understanding. So you can do this, as I said, come together in a room, just on a whiteboard. Some teams, remote teams, use Trello. They just like use a Trello board like this, and then they say, okay, put your cards on now for team cohesion, 1, 2, 3. So everyone can just like put their cards on, add a comment, and then you get the team health monitor in Trello. There's also a template online that we provide, so you can easily use that. And we will hear about Atlas in a sec, but we will add also the team health monitor to Atlas. So there's a team directory in Atlas. And we will add the team health monitor to Atlas, so you can also vote in Atlas. And the great thing then is also that you not just have the summary here in Atlas and you can just like save it. You also have your historically values in Atlas. So you can see, are we improving on all those or not? We're thinking about just like also have departmental views on team health, how healthy are the different departments in your organization. If every team does the health check, you can just like see that, and how healthy is the organization itself. So we were just like also thinking about lettering that up. So I said we have done that with a lot of teams, right? We did this with teams within Atlassian. We did thousands of health monitors in Atlassian. We did thousands of health monitors with customers actually that wanted to have that, to facilitate that. The number one problem here that team have is this: getting a shared understanding of what are we building, what are we doing, how do we work together. Now, if you just like use your Apple Watch or something to just like say, okay, my stand goal, I need to stand more, or my workout goal, I need to work out more, you get something. But how do you do that with shared understanding? What are the things that will help you as a team to get a shared understanding? So that's why we have this headbands, because we think just like you need to go to the teamwork gym. So we actually found things that helps teams small little workshops that you can do with your team, like the Team Health Monitor, and that helps teams to get a shared understanding. And I will go through all of these four workshops that we just like developed to just like explain you what it does with the team and how it helps the whole team to get a shared understanding. And the first thing is the team poster, right? So I'm talking to a lot of teams, and the teams think just like, we know our goals. We know our goal. If you talk individually to the people, they say, we know where we are heading. Well, if you talk individually to team members, you will see looks a little bit more like this. The direction, they all have the right direction, but they can't really say what is the common goal, right? They all have different ideas of the goal. And then they have different ways to the goal, which is fine, right? Everyone should have just like it's the diversity of thought that you have. You have different ways to the goal. That's what you want to keep. But what you want to have is actually one common goal as a team where you're heading, that everyone is aligned with that. And then you can talk about just like what is the best way to get to that goal. And that's an exercise that we do with teams. It's called a team poster. Now, a team poster is not a poster that you put on a wall or something. It's, of course, a Confluence page for your team that your team builds. But the first thing that is on a team poster is get clear on your mission. So this is a mission, I think, from the Trello team that I just like copied over from their team poster, Architect a Backend Platform. You can read through this, but your mission should be clear. Talk about it as a team. Be clear, what is your mission, what do you want to achieve. Look at missions or vision from your company or from your department and derive from that and see what is it, why do we exist actually as a team. And we have a lot of discussions about, some teams think, oh, we don't have a common mission because we're doing all different things, but there is something why you exist as a team, and you need to get this out. There's no excuse, you need your mission. On the team poster is also, of course, the team members with pictures, because what you do is you build this page, and this page is meant first, of course, for you as a page, just like a reference, to just like see, okay, let's come back and see what was our mission here. But it's also meant for other teams to find out actually what is your team doing. And sometimes I'm speaking to people and say, oh, you're on the same team. I didn't know, right? So I can go to the team poster and can see they are on the same team. And not only just like they are on the same team, everything that's on the team poster are their goals that they want to reach. I can see where can I reach it. So this team has their Slack channel on their team poster. So team poster consists on different things, and just like find out what's the most important thing for you. As I said, goals and the projects you're working on, so other teams can see that. What are the projects you're currently working on? What is the problem is the team solving? Who are the customers? So what are the customers of the team? It's also great to just like talk about that as a team, just because everyone gets the same understanding. Oh, this is a persona we're building this for, right? So also important. How will you measure success? We have different kind of exercises for how you do that, but this belongs to the team poster, and then also what solutions do you offer. So I'll show you our team poster. It's not pretty, to be honest, but you have here so we have just like our mission there and our vision. These are Atlas tickets that we put on there. These are our goals that we have, actually. We have different levels. I can talk about that also later, how we just like do the goals. You see our team is here, right? Dom is our boss, and then we have evangelists and products. These are our customer personas. These are the personas that we affect. And then we have a bunch of other things there with different links to pages where we go deeper into what we offer and going deeper in our plan. This is also what we're talking about, Mark and I, when we are at user groups like this. So we have written everything up, so you don't have to just like memorize that all. You can go to Atlassian.com and I'll just like look for the team poster. We have written everything up, so you can just like go through that. Also, the Confluence template is on that, so you can just like basically use that. So this is a team poster. This is the first thing that you can do, the first workshop that you can do, exercise that you can do to get a shared understanding on your team. So now that we are clear on the goal that we want to achieve, how do we get to there? And we have different tasks that we need to do. Some development teams need to fix some bugs. They need to work on new features. Then maybe the product people on the team, they need to just think about just like what features should we have, do the customer interviews, the design team needs to do the designers need to do the design. So we have different things, and sometimes it's important to talk about what are these things? What are the roles and responsibilities in your team? Who's responsible for what? Right? To just like avoid friction that you might have, because there's a lot when you just like say, okay, these are the responsibilities, but everyone probably knows their responsibilities, but you will see responsibilities that some people think like, oh, thought it's your responsibility. I thought it's your responsibility. To be clear on that is super important. Also, you will see that some responsibility get not picked up by anyone. And then you want to discuss it as a team, but you need to move fast. So how does that workshop works? So what you do first is identify roles. Roles are things like designer, product manager, developer, you name it, on your team. So people can have different roles. So one person can have two roles, of course, and more people on the team, like developers, maybe have the same role, right? It's fine. And then what you do next is an exercise. Everyone does that for themselves. Write down the responsibility. What do you think this role is responsible for? And you write that down for yourself, right? And just like that's an exercise. And then you go and merge these things with everyone else, right? So everyone else gets in the list. There will be added some, but you will see also some where you think, yeah, sure, yeah, a developer should develop software, a designer should design the interface, great. But you will also see something that are overlaps, where you think, oh, I thought you were doing the measurement, and I thought I'm responsible for the measurement. So who's doing that? So talk about these things. And as I said, the most important things will be just like in a column right here, responsibilities that get not picked up. And these are just like the things where it gets tricky and where you get into conversations. So who's doing that? I also had a team that says, oh, we are all the same, right? We're all the same, and we pick it up and we discuss it in the team. If that works, great, but I've seen problems with that if not someone is responsible for that, just like responsible for just like getting the bugs into the system, right? Or the bug reports into the system. Someone should be responsible for that. What is if that person is sick or whatever? It needs a lot of coordination if the responsibilities are not clear in your team. So we have also here just a template for that, so you can use that. That's a summary. So identify the roles, determine what other things, share what you think, identify the gaps in the role understanding, and identify the unassigned responsibilities. Also here, there's a write-up about that. And I just like don't want you to just like listen to me. I have now an exercise for you. I want you to come together as 2-3 people. Great. 2-3 people. So I will hand out to you a sheet of paper. So find your partners, and then you get actually this here. It's a pirate ship, right? So you talk about what's your role in your team on that pirate ship. So it's pretty easy. It's pretty easy. So which crew member do you represent on that ship? So I give you this. You can also watch it up there. And then just like. All right, you can continue. You can continue in the next break if you want. Would you love to share who you are on this pirate ship?
No, we started cataloging.
Cataloging, all right.
Cataloging all of the roles and what they might represent.
Ah, okay.
Because some of them we were a bit ambiguous. So with the shared understanding, maybe, yeah.
Okay.
We're trying to create that.
Good.
But no, I just
right.
started in a new role, so some of it is learning and just sitting, watching this.
All right.
So maybe 3 or 7.
3 or 7.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Could be used to exemplify what I do sometimes.
This one here.
Yeah.
Just like okay. 7 staring at the ocean.
Yeah.
All right.
Also doing a lot of cleanup just after migrating from your service.
Here 10. Yeah.
Yeah.
Good. What are you?
Yeah, but also depending on the day and time of day, different roles.
Yeah.
Anywhere from number there'll be 13. The guy just.
13.
He's not. He's playing. I thought he was presenting something.
Yeah, you can also just like present.
And then could be number 16 pointing out.
The number 16. Oh, there. Pointing
The
out.
only one seeing something wrong here. Situation. All the way up to number 3, just playing around with the gadgets.
Yeah.
Having fun on my own.
Good. All right. Someone here lifting the anchor, 8. No one here? I hear a lot of people are just like thinking they are number 1. They're normally the managers that are in that room. That's also what I want to hear a lot of here.
Actually,
So
they are number 17.
they are number 17.
Yes.
Shooting. All right. I actually had one who said I'm 17 and said what are you just like destroying the boat, and I said no I'm shooting the way. So that's like shooting everything out of the way. So it wasn't just like seeing
There's a
that.
hole in the boat.
Yeah, there's also a hole in the boat, but yeah, you can.
That can happen.
That can happen, right? You shoot too much. Great. Do that with your team. It's an interesting exercise to just like see how team members sees themselves on their role in their team. All right. So now we have the roles clear. We are aligned. We want to just like the same goal. The problem is now that we all work differently. We're all individuals, right? We're just like not. The concept of a team is just like a bunch of individuals put together, and people are different. Some work like to work late in the evening. Some like to just like work early in the morning. Some are actually like long meetings or sit in long meetings and discuss things. Others like to write down and think first. So as a team, we don't often talk about these things, right? How do you want to work, right? But it's super important that we are clear on how do we run our meetings, what meetings are absolutely essential for the team, and how do we want to run it. What about communication? How do we communicate with each other? Some like to use Slack, the others, or Teams, and the others want to use email or just like do a direct video call. And how do we continuously improve ourselves? I know a lot of teams have this retrospective in their monthly or 2 weeks rhythms, but it's important that you also think about just like, do we have a ritual where we improve ourselves, right? So this is another workshop called Working Agreements. And in working agreements, you write down really how do you want to work together as a team with your different things that you have, like communication, meetings, when are we working, when are we communicating, all those things. So it's a team preferences, communication channels, as also escalation processes. Also sometimes important that you talk about how do we escalate some things and then continuously improve. So I just like brought you a small example from a team at Atlassian that did this exercise. So they just like asked themselves what communication channels they were using. When do we use which channel, right? For which purpose are we using which channel? And then also what are important in our communication culture, so communication rules. So they figured out they have these tools for communicating. Email, Confluence, Slack, G Drive to exchange some files, Miro for having whiteboarding stuff, and then Figma for their designs. And then they said, okay, when do we want to use which channels? For what purpose do you want to use which channels? So they said, okay, emails we just like using for customer communication. We don't write internal emails. We don't do that. Confluence we use for concepts, ideas planning with internal teams. Internal communication is over Slack. External documents we share in Google Drive. The first concepts should be in Miro. But once we just like going over and just like want to have the concept nailed down, then we move it into Confluence. And then Figma we use for our mockups and discuss our mockups there. So this is how the team communicates. These are the tools and which tool, which channel they use for what. Then they wrote down their how important their rules, right? Failures are systematic. We don't do any finger pointing. This is important for us when we communicate. Respect privacy of team personal information, building relationship based on trust, mutual respect, and general connections. And then seek to understand first, and then provide feedback. So these are their communication rules. And it's important for them that they have written it down. So they can point to it and say, hey, we don't want to do finger pointing. So let's get to the problem first, and then we can see how can we fix that problem. Doesn't matter who did it. This is a great exercise to bring the team together, because we work together each day, and it's good to have some agreements how we want to work together. So, working agreements, another workshop that we have available. So we talked a lot here about teams, right? Internal teams, to get them better, to get a shared understanding. But the reality is that, in a team it's great, but we work across teams normally, right? We have different teams. So we work just like in marketing teams or in development teams or whatever, right? But also this representation that companies have, this hierarchical view of how departments are set up, are not the reality. This is not how we work, right? We work much more chaotic. And people don't think, they have this great hierarchical view where they can look up who's responsible for what. But this is not how teams actually work together. They work across these departments, these hierarchies. And teams don't think too much about, there is no real, how do we work together organigram or something like that. So we developed something called Network of Teams to just like find out which teams are important for your teams, which teams you depend on, and which teams depend on you. And we need to think about this a little bit more, right? So how it works is you put your team on this radar view in the middle, right? Use Confluence whiteboards or another whiteboarding tool. Put your team in the middle there, and then just do an exercise and identify the teams you work with. The closer they are, the more important is it for you yourself. These teams are more important for you, the closer they are to your team. The further they are, the less important and the less interactions you have with that team, right? And then talk together with it as a group, because other people in your group have probably other relationships to other teams, and then just like see what is really important and find the 5 important teams that are important for your success. So these are the teams you want to build good relationships with. But what you find out is probably that with some of those teams, you never speak, but they're important for you. They're important for your success. Or you just like rarely speak. Or the relationship is not really good to them because they are always just like a little bit hard to work with. And we don't want to bother them, but we need them, right? We need them for our success. And we don't think about that. So what you do is just like you apply here people on your team that hold that relationship, that need to hold that relationship. And then comes the really, really hard exercise that you do. It's like assess how is your relationship to that team, right? And then you have just like a few lines here. The red lines represent not so good. Yellow, it's okay. And green, yeah, we have a great relationship with that team. So this is a great exercise to just like find out, okay, we see with the PMM by Markey, or by market, typo, that should be actually a better relationship. We need to work on that. So we did it actually, this is an embarrassing exercise that we did last year when we came together last time. And you probably can't see it, but we picked 6 teams. But the red lines we have 3 red lines. So we just like found out that these are important teams that we need to work with, but our relationship is not good. So we worked on those, and actually a few months later, we just like did that again, and we turned that into yellow at least, and the yellow one also into green. So we worked on these relationships to just like have a better relationship with those teams. And guess what? The work was also better. our outcome was better, right? So it's important that you just like know which teams are important for your success and work on those relationships. All right, so also here we have it written down, everything, so you can do that. So I share with you 4 different workshops or exercises that you can do to bring your team in shape, to get a shared understanding in your team. Now, shared understanding, as you might remember when I showed you the team health monitor, is just one area that you can improve, right? Or should improve in your team health. There are 7 other areas, right? And what can you do with those? Well, we have put more of these workshops together, and they call plays, and we group them in a so-called team playbook. So we have developed this team playbook, and there are now 52 different plays in the team playbook that you can use that helps you to be a better team. Don't use them all at the same time. It's just not helping you, right? Also, the 4 plays, don't do them all in just like 1 month. That doesn't help you. Just like try it out, see how you can improve, and then do the next thing, right? So, and also pick the one that you have the most problems with, right? It's just like easy to do maybe a network of teams when your connection with the other teams are pretty good, right? Pick the one that you have most problems with, and tackle those first, right? And rerun them regularly. So 50 plays in the team playbook. Now, you think like these needs a little bit of facilitation, right? You need someone who's coming in. But you will say just like, I'm not a team coach, right? I don't do this workshop. We're just like a normal team, right? Like a consultant team or development team or whatever, right? But what I say then is, yeah, you're not a coach and I'm not a cook, right? But I can do dishes like this. I can do that. But I'm not a cook. But Jamie Oliver has written all his recipes in one book. So I can take the book and just like step by step do what Jamie Oliver does. It doesn't maybe taste exactly what Jamie Oliver, but I'm getting close to it maybe. Also with a little bit of exercise, I'm getting better. So if you look at these plays that I just like showed you, like roles and responsibilities, we have set them up like recipes. So you can do them yourself. So we say just like, what's the cooking time or what's the play time here to do that? How many people do you need? How long does it take? All these things. Then what are the ingredients? What do you need for those plays? We actually pre-cooked some stuff for you, the templates. You can use the templates, easy to use then. And then if you see just like, there's some preparation that you do, but then we have a step-by-step guide, right? With times, how much time you should use for that, instructions, tips, all the things. So you can run the plays yourself. You can try it yourself to run it with your team. If you want to get more help, we also, Mark and I did a university course with all 4 plays. You can just like rewatch that to get more tips of the plays. It's free. Atlassian University, you can go there. Yeah, and I can just like say, just like shape up your team, get better in your team, build a shared understanding of what you want to build together, how you want to work together, and that's it for me. Thank you very much. And just think we have a break now, right?
Yeah.
Cool. Great. Thank you.
And also, you should get